All right, everyone, welcome back
Yeah,
to the first soccer talk of 2025. I'm
another
jo-
season.
Another season. I'm joined, as always, by WATE anchor extraordinaire Bo Williams.
Oh,
My name is Greg Rocool. We're going to be talking about all sorts of fun stuff from around the local, national,
yeah.
world soccer landscape. Bo, what's got you excited right now?
Well, right now, the start of another season.
Definitely.
And we're talking, everything from one Knox, USL one. We're still early on in the MLS season, which is great. Things starting to heat up for the races overseas and some of the European leagues. But also just this talk of USL and the creation of a Premier League, a level one league, Division One,
Right.
and the
Big
pro
news.
reg now that has come out that said, yeah, we're going to do this. Still a lot of questions on how that's going to look. We're going to talk a little bit about that, kind of weigh maybe the pros and cons and take a look at how this could play out. But it's just a lot going on here, especially with USL. That is for sure. I mean, no one. I guess we saw this coming, but boy, they hit us hard with it. It's like, hey, we're going to add this new league, and boom, now pro reg, and it's going to be here in 2 years. So,
That's right. Yeah, we think of Major League Soccer as kind of the
right.
primary driver of the growth of the game in this country and the rise of like being able to watch a lot of European soccer on television. But USL has done an amazing job filling in the soccer map across the country, which has been really cool to see. So we're going to be talking about that and a lot more. If you're not familiar with the show, we'd like to hop on here. We're going to be hopping on every 2 weeks this year just to discuss some exciting news around the game. We're not going to get too down in the weeds, breaking down the merits of the 4-3-3 and counter pressing
Yeah, no.
and all that, real more technical stuff. We want to talk about some stuff that we think is exciting
Yeah.
and is growing the game, at home and around the country. And there's no shortage of news lately as we kind of approached the 2026 World Cup coming to America next year, and Mexico and Canada, of course.
Yeah, so much going on, that is for sure. This summer, a lot coming up. But I'm just excited, first of all, with USL and one Knox. I mean, I had the chance to go down. They had that the street party
Right.
a couple weeks ago, which was great to get everybody fired up. Debuted the away kit. We'll be talking more about the other big announcement that came concerning women's soccer.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk more about that coming up here in a little bit. But so much going on and just what they are doing to embrace the community, the soccer community. But really making their footprint here in Knoxville.
Absolutely.
And getting involved. And, of course, all the excitement coming up on the 26th of April when they get to debut over there at Covenant Health Park.
Right. It feels just, a couple months ago, we were, wrapping up the USL season, watching Major League Soccer, and here we are back just a short couple months later. But before we, go any number of ways to talk about, a lot of exciting stuff happening in Knoxville and around the country, one thing that's been huge for the One Knox men's team has been something that was announced a couple months ago, but now we're getting to see new coach Ian Fuller. Here we see him talking with Bo in our studio a couple months ago.
Yeah.
We'll put a link to that interview in the link of this story. But yes, the second permanent coach in One Knoxville SC history.
Yeah.
He is coming from a Major League Soccer background. He was an assistant for a number of years at Minnesota United, which has been a really steady Eddie. They haven't quite, captured the silverware at the Major League Soccer level, but this has been a really well-run club, very strong fan base, even in some of those chilly St. Paul
Yeah.
game days.
Well,
and
you just look at everything around it. I mean, look at the facility they've got up there, the stadium that they have.
Unbelievable.
I mean, everything has been top notch. I think it's a matter of time before Minnesota, claims an MLS Cup. I think that is for sure. But yeah, I mean, just a good guy. He came in. We had a chance to talk a little bit. It's said, I remember I asked him, what was one of the big things that attracted you? He says, man, I love the crest. And it
What's
is
not to
something
love?
when you take a look at a lot of the different, our crest, it got to be one of the best in USL, without question. All the colors that pop, but also you talked about the thoughts of moving into the new facility, seeing how this club is really from the ground up and what they're doing here locally, and it's just not a soccer team or a franchise, but really embedding themselves in the community, being part of Knoxville and really the East Tennessee, because you see their outreach going to Maryville, Sevierville, all different places. So
Absolutely. And in terms of on the field, whenever you heard him talk and Drew talk about the hiring of Ian Fuller, I feel like the word intensity came up a lot, and it really does feel like that he has brought a very Division One intensity that comes with being around the top soccer league in this country for basically almost a decade with Minnesota United. So it does really seem like they've just taken another step forward in terms of the professionalism, the intensity, and kind of striving for that next level of achievement on the field.
And who knows, maybe they knew something we didn't know at the time, but looking for somebody like that with that intensity, who has that experience at the top level, maybe they have the insight, obviously, knowing where USL is going, right? Because beginning in 27, 28, we're all going to be thinking, well, we want to get to the championship.
That's right.
And then after that, we want to get on to whatever the next that top league is going to be called. So, kind of already forward thinking in that process.
Definitely. So we finally got to see it all start to take place on the field. One Knoxville kicked off their season on the road last weekend at Spokane, and it was really
what a way to open the season.
What a road
trip. 3,000 miles to open this thing up. But keep in mind, Ian Fuller's from the Northwest. So for him, it was kind of like a chance. Okay, yeah, let's go. It's a chance to have some family up, maybe see the game, see some people I haven't seen in a while.
And what's funny is it was a former One Knoxville SC player that was giving the team fits here to in their opener. And really impressive to see One Knoxville rebound and show some grit in this game. Which to get into that first opener, here we see former One Knoxville SC defender Derek Waldeck whipping in a great delivery to that near post, and they're able to convert that one. Usually we talked about One Knoxville being the dominant set piece team last year, but early on in this one it was Spokane, and with our former One Knoxville guy, Derek Waldeck, putting us behind early.
Well, you figure if you're going to get beat, it's probably going to be somebody who has worn the jersey before, right? Because that's what we produce here in Knoxville. But really, it was a well-executed corner. I remember watching the game and thinking, okay, if I was sitting there, I may have even stood up, off my couch. I said, that was a nice goal. I mean, I wasn't happy to see Spokane score,
right?
But it was a nice goal. It was beautifully executed. We had two players right there. No one could get quite in front, but again, it was a nice put away there for Spokane.
Right. Even some of these early games early on in a season can have a degree of unpredictability. Teams are still kind of finding their chemistry together, and so unfortunately it would get worse for Knoxville before it gets better, where in the second half, once again we see we see a second goal from Derek Waldeck. Let's see.
What? We don't need to see it.
Not sure what was happening there, but just to describe this one, in the second half, there was another goal for Spokane off of a corner kick. We saw Derek Waldeck, another really difficult delivery to deal with for a defender to that near post, about as close to an Olympico, direct free kick goal as you can get without actually being an Olympico. Barely grazed off the head of one Knoxville SC defenders, and all of a sudden Knoxville's down 2-0.
Yeah, and that's tough too when you're on the road like that. I mean, I don't know how early the guys got out there, but you're thinking the time difference, traveling, some 2,500, 3,000 miles for that first road game, and now you find yourself down 2-0. Not a good spot, but something we also saw a lot last year, and that is this team never stops. One Knox, it doesn't matter if they're down 2-0 or if they're up 2-0, the team continues to play hard really until the final whistle blows, and they pretty much took it to the final whistle on this one.
They very much did, and a great show of resilience even on an individual level from a new midfielder, Mikkel Golling. I'll have to get a firm pronouncer on that. He ended up being credited with the own goal on that second one, but he's able to come right back and score the first goal of the One Knoxville SC season on a nice throw-in routine. It comes back to new signing Jaheim Brown. He whips in a nice cross into right onto the edge of the penalty spot, or right on the edge of the 6-yard box. And Mikkel Golling's able to get in front of his defender on that near post and have the deficit with about a half hour to go in this one. So plenty of time for Knoxville to rebound there, and they took full advantage.
Yeah, and if you're watching the game, you really saw the complexity of this game, the momentum start to shift in this game, especially as we got later on. You could feel something was coming. A second goal was going to come after this.
And Spokane's lead is cut in half.
The intensity from our end just continued to build as this game went on. It was almost like
we just talked about how set pieces were killer. This one coming off of the throw-in.
One back, but you can kind of feel a momentum shift as the second half continued on after this goal. That things were really starting to go One Knox's way, and you could feel Spokane at times really were back on their heels.
Right. We talked about this last year a lot. If things didn't go to plan necessarily, maybe they were down early, would they have the firepower to get back in a game, throw some of the caution that made them so good defensively to the wind in search of those equalizers. And at least in this
defensive
opener,
set
they've
pieces.
shown, under this new coach, a great ability to do that. And
Has
like,
to stay a part of their game.
Like Bo said, they left it
They
late on
look
this
to
one,
advance.
but sure enough, it
Better
was
late than never.
Martin
was
delivers
Angelo
towards the
Kelly
back post,
goes
header
into the box
down,
from midfield.
across, shot, bounces
Attention to get
home.
onto the end of this
Knoxville
one,
leads.
And just able to tuck it past the Spokane keeper in stoppage time, in the dying
It's
moments of this
Santos.
game to salvage a point. And what a huge point that is to get your season.
The 18-year-old finds the back of the net amidst the chaos.
FC, so what do? You overplay it, you go far post, you put it away from traffic, and you know your responsibility to put this back across the face of goal.
You know, to
It
come out of
feels like a
Spokane.
win. It really does.
Yeah, and you look at Spokane too, which is a great organization, but it felt like a win coming out of that. Great to see a guy who's been with one Knox. You know, he's kind of a fan favorite, Angelo Kelly. When Spokane, it was a nice executed corner kick for a goal. Yeah, I really came off the couch on this one because this was
Absolutely.
so late in the game. But fantastic. It was a great point, and again, congratulations to the guys. Great way to start the season. Where we're going.
Not a still image. We're back with live video here. But yeah, a really impressive win for Knoxville, or a really impressive draw that felt like a win in this opener. And it really gave them momentum, I think, to go into this midweek game that they had last night. They got to start their Open Cup campaign over in Boone, which is funny. It's really the closest they're going to get to Knoxville in the opening 6 weeks of this season before they are able to have their home opener at Covenant Health Park. It's coming up on
April 26th.
April 26th on a Saturday. That's going to be a huge one. So yeah, I'm sure a long road trip can be very daunting for a team, to think, all right, we're going to get on a plane or a bus for the next every couple of days for the next 6 weeks. But to be able to get that win and then to parlay that then into a really strong Open Cup showing that we'll talk about here with some highlights here in a second is just could be hopefully a great sign of things to come for this team.
Yeah, I mean, it's a testament to the guys, it's a testament to the new coach and everybody over there. Like you said, the draw felt like a win. But now going up to Boone, not nearly as long of a trip, obviously about a 3-hour drive up to Boone. And they've done a great job up there following Helene, that town, that university at App State, and everybody to rebuild, to clean up and whatnot. They were playing at Ted Mackerel. Personal note, my son played college soccer there, so it was really weird watching this game. They don't have a men's program anymore at App State, but I've spent many a freezing night up there in Boone watching soccer, and it's a great venue. It's beautiful up there, and but the guys going up there after that long road trip, and once again, like you said, they're not going to be at home until the 26th of April. They've got a lot of road games to play, but so far so good, and that's a huge test. And really, this might be with the new coach. We've got a lot of faces back, but we also have some new blood in the team. Granted, you want to have at least a home game somewhere in there, but again, this is a chance for this team to really come together, so to speak, on the road, getting to know each other even better, and hopefully this will work to their advantage moving forward down the road.
That's right. And yeah, if you're not familiar with the U.S. Open Cup, it's very fitting during March Madness. I always think of the line from Ted Lasso where they talk about a similar competition in England, where they're like, oh, you mean it's a midweek March Madness with teams from every league in the country? Like, sign me up. Right. And that's what we have here. It was very cool to see our new professional team go over to Boone, play a semi-professional team. Now, like you said, that was created in the wake of Appalachian State deciding to cut their men's soccer program, but they've kept a great fan culture over there.
Great culture, and I mean, you can't knock their crest either. I mean, it's just
two of the best in American soccer.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Sasquatch, the whole deal. I mean, it's they uncovered something. They found a way to market that team, and they've done a great job there. A lot of people, I know their online store gets flooded every year. People wanting whether it's a koozie to a shirt or what have you. It's a hot item.
Right. I imagine just about all of their merchandise is flying off the shelves with some great branding and a great community that they have up there. But it was a very cool moment for the One Knoxville community as well in this one. Earlier in these kind of knockout tournaments, it is an opportunity for maybe players who don't get as much regular playing time to impress the coach. And we saw a very cool moment for a One Knoxville SC player to open the scoring here. We've talked about Leo Santos on this show before. He was One Knoxville's first USL Academy signing. It kind of allows young players to get some professional experience, maintain their collegiate eligibility. They decide to follow that path. But he's been part of this team really since the onset in 2022. And so he got the start in this one, and who else could it be to open the scoring in the first half but Leo Santos, a little bit of a chaotic situation. Here we see one Knoxville's prowess on a set-piece delivery. And we see this one come into the far post. Great job to be able to keep that one in. And who's there on the penalty spot to hit that one into the top corner but Leo Santos? And look at what it means to him. His first senior goal. He's getting ready to graduate from Alcoa this coming May, I believe. And yeah, it's awesome to see a young player, realize a dream like that in a meaningful, historic competition like the U.S. Open Cup.
Well, you want to get off the, you want to get that first one under the belt, your first goal, but also for the team, you want to get through that first round. It's so big, anything can happen. It's kind of like what we see in March Madness, right?
That's right.
Anything can happen this first round or two. But again, a great opportunity. Shots like that, man. I mean, that's first, that's just tough to defend. When it comes bouncing in like that, you kind of hit it off the turf but perfectly placed just underneath the crossbar. I mean, beautifully done. He will replay that in his mind over and over for the rest of his soccer years and beyond.
Yeah, so awesome to see. And it wasn't just Leo Santos in this one. Two local Knoxville kids playing for one Knoxville's pro soccer team. They recently announced the signing of Heath Martin, who was a standout at Hardin Valley Academy in high school. Played in the varsity team as a freshman before he went over and joined IMG Academy over in Florida, and has played in a couple other professional setups. Now signing with One Knox, got the start in this one as well. So yeah, the Knoxville soccer community alive and well. Very awesome to see some local products get some professional action. And but on the other side of the coin, like you said, we've got some new signings coming in that could really make or break the season. A couple of new attacking forwards. That have been added, hoping to kind of really give their attack another gear to kind of partner along Kempis Tequila, who was kind of the talisman for the team last year. And I think we saw that in this game as well. New signing Babacar Diane came down from the USL Championship with Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and what a stunner that he scored to
midst of that play. Here's a free kick straight to goal. What a finish! Knoxville up 2-0, and what a strike from Dien. Babacar Dien stepped on the pitch here in the second.
Ted Mackerel, but yeah, that was a great shot, and again, as you kind of alluded to, especially early on in a game like this as well. Last season when you look at us, I mean, at the beginning of the season, Angelo Kelly was really getting a lot of the goals for us.
Right.
Tequila comes in. Kind of takes takes some of the pressure off. He's the one that starts putting it in. But we didn't have, goals were coming from different people, but we didn't have 3 or 4. There was just man, they're popping in 5 or 6, 5 or 6 here, 5 or 6. This year it looks like we've built off what we had last year, which was good, which was really good. I mean, obviously you look at how the team did last year, but I think now there are so many more weapons offensively. We know we've got guys that can come out of the back to help out offensively.
Definitely.
So I think up top, even in the midfield there, I mean, it's just great to see. I know it's still early going, but you've got to be excited and optimistic after seeing what they did in Spokane and to come back there and what they were able to do last night up in Boone. Just to get out there as a team and play and see different guys getting touches and scoring. I think it speaks a lot about what we can expect here moving forward.
Definitely. The first 2 years of pro soccer have been, they've set such a high defensive floor on this team. But yeah, like you said, it's all identifying secondary scoring is going to be so critical. And so far they have been able to, at least in these first 2 games, show that there is some potential for some guys that could really establish themselves as kind of reliable goal threats. Whether across various competitions. So we're going to be following, Open Cup. They got the second round match coming up in the first week of April. We don't know who yet that will be against. We've got some more first round games tonight. And so that's going to be a competition that we're going to be following. It'd be awesome to see if they can make it to the 4th round. That's when Major League Soccer teams start to come in.
Can you imagine someone coming into Covenant Health Park?
Right, a Major League team, maybe a Charlotte FC, maybe a Nashville SC. That would be really exciting. Yep. So a lot of stuff to really get excited about, even in this early part of the season. And like we said, there's been a lot of big news from the club and across the American soccer landscape that we're going to get into. We just want to take a quick break before then, and we will get into some big news about women's soccer and then something that might reshape the American soccer landscape coming up right now. All right, welcome back after that short break. And like you said, there's been a lot of big news off the field when it comes to USL. One Knoxville, it's been very cool to see them establish their men's program over these last couple of years.
Right.
We got some big news earlier this spring, a couple weeks back, that they will be adding a new team, women's soccer. They will be playing in the USLW league. This is what they call pre-professional, similar to the league that Knoxville started in 2022. You get to see a lot of elite youth players, college players that are want to stay sharp during the off season and maybe have the opportunity to impress potentially future professional teams if they decide to pursue that path. So we're going to have women's pre-professional soccer at Covenant Health Park. That's going to be running from mid to late May through I think the beginning of July. So it's really awesome to see the opportunity for local players, for young players to get their opportunity and impress at Covenant Health Park, the same venue as the men.
It's an extension of what we've been seeing what this organization's been doing, starting really with the grassroots, right? The kids at the club level, pre-club even. These kids out there playing soccer. It opens now another pathway. We've seen them work with this with the men and the boys, but now for the girls and on the women's side. To be able to give them now an opportunity to continue. It's not like, well, your club, you're done playing club. Enjoy. If you have the ambition, you want to go on and play in college, possibly play professionally. They're creating those avenues for you, and it's great because all you have to do is drive around town in the spring, summer, early fall, and go by any soccer field, and there are games. There are parents standing out there. I mean, they are packed, and it doesn't matter if it's a boys or girls matchup. So popular right now in this area, so much talent, and I think this is fantastic what they're doing. And I know even the new coach is excited as well because he has a daughter playing in it as well.
That's right. We got to catch up with USLW coach Simon Duffy at that announcement, and he couldn't have been more excited about this announcement. Let's take
I think it's amazing. Like, selfishly, I've got a daughter in the club. So to see her eyes light up when she found out I have a team has been excellent, But the rest of the players on her team and to be able to see, girls that look like you, maybe move a bit faster, but to one day look and go, that's what I want to be. I want to be that. I want to be on that team. That's fantastic.
And like you said, Bo, it wasn't not too long ago where, if you were a really high-level youth player, at a certain point you had to make a pretty daunting decision in your life. That might entail, moving to a big city to go to one of the professional academies that were more limited at that time. Now we see those with a lot of professional clubs across the nation, or maybe even going overseas to try and pursue that dream. It really can be a daunting decision for a lot of youth players. So to be able to stay at home or in your region and have opportunities to improve and showcase your abilities is critical for development.
And it's difficult soccer, it's not like football or basketball for that matter, as far as recruiting and things like that. If your child wants to play at the college level even, and hopefully get on to the next level. When my kids were coming up, we didn't have those options right now. Now, this is also, if you're a parent, you got to sit and think, okay, this is great, because what it is opening up that opportunity for them. Kids get additional training, more looks, some guidance on as far as your path, if you want to continue on the soccer path and continue playing. Some kids decide they're done, at a certain point, but a lot of kids still have those goals. So I think this is great on what they're doing, and can't wait to see them out there on the field and see all the talent that they're going to be producing coming out of Knoxville. Knoxville's going to be on the soccer map if it isn't already.
Absolutely. Well, like we said, it's amazing to see so many new opportunities for men, boys, and girls pro players, or aspiring pro players from this region, and that's going to be another critical component of the big news from USL, that they'll be pursuing promotion relegation. That's, I think, a topic that we're going to discuss maybe in more detail. I'm efforting an interview with Drew McKenna on our next episode of Soccer Talk, and I'm sure he would have a lot to say about the impact that promotion and relegation could have on the soccer landscape in America, and we're going to be talking about all that and a whole lot more of American soccer news on future episodes of Soccer Talk. So thank you for tuning in, bearing with some technical issues, and we will talk to you guys again very soon. Take care.